Hi everyone, this is Angie with Life in Orlando, and today we are talking all about how to survive the summer heat in Orlando. If you are visiting any of the theme parks, Disney World or Universal Studios, anytime between May and October, you are going to experience this extreme heat. As we speak right now, as I'm recording this video, it's near the end of July, we're in the upper 90s and it feels like the 100s. Imagine being at the parks all day long for 12 hours walking around and not being prepared. And if you're not accustomed to that type of heat, it can really impact your trip and it can really impact your day at the park. But we're going to talk about some tips and some advice and some tricks that will hopefully help you to survive this heat, to still have an amazing time at the parks anytime you visit throughout the summer. So, number one, the first one may seem like the most obvious choice, but believe it or not, it is the one that most people simply ignore, and that is to stay hydrated. Oftentimes, we wait until we're absolute thirsty or at that point of really needing water before we start to drink water, and by that time, it's really too late. So I'm a runner, and our number one rule, especially with running here in Florida, is that you always prepare early. So if I know I have a longer run the next day, I'm going to really start hydrating and drinking water and electrolytes the day before. And it's kind of the same situation. You know you're going to be out in the heat, in the sun, all day the next day. So really start hydrating beforehand. Don't wait until it's too late. Another thing is make sure you're replenishing those electrolytes. It's great to get water, but there's other things that you can do as well that's really going to help you. I think in Disney World they sell the Powerade, but something else that you can bring with you is something like electrolytes, like these little pouches, like Propel. This is Liquid IV. One thing that I really love are these LMNT electrolyte. They come in a variety of flavors. You just pop them right in your water, and they're super lightweight. They're really easy to carry into the park, and they're really going to help you replenish those electrolytes and those salts throughout the day. Something else that I've seen a lot of people do is they'll actually freeze water bottles. So they'll freeze those water bottles, put them in their bag and in the backpack in the morning, and then they're going to last throughout the day so that when you're ready to drink them, then they're cold. Something else, I know that water can just really add up if you're buying all of these bottles of water throughout the day, but you really don't have to. At the parks, you can go to a lot of the quick service restaurants and they will give you cups of water. So if you don't want to buy bottled water throughout the day, then go and get those cups of water. But you can also take your refillable water bottle into the park if you have one of those, and there's refilling stations all around the parks at both Disney and at Universal as well. Next, and you are going to see these all over the park, but that is cooling towels. That is because, guys, they really work. You're going to take these cooling towels and you just basically wet them, you snap them, and you wear them around your neck, and they help so much with cooling off. This is nothing, you're not going to look crazy for walking around with these because you're going to see lots and lots of people with these. They're really going to help to keep you cool. I've seen them in some of the stores at Disney. You can buy these on Amazon ahead of time. You can buy them in packs of 4 or bigger packs if you have a family, and you can take them with you. They're really lightweight to travel with, and then once you get them wet, then they're really going to do the trick. So cooling towels are really a must-have when you're visiting the parks, especially in the heat of summer. Next, early morning and late evening, that will be your best friend. Rope drop is going to be the way to go, especially if you're there right in the middle in July and August time frame. Yes, it does get crowded at rope drop, but you're still going to be able to go and ride some of those attractions and get on some of those attractions that are going to have longer lines later in the day. Plus, it is going to be so much cooler in the mornings. You're going to be able to get hours in the morning before the crowds really start to ramp up. What a lot of people do, especially if you're staying on site at one of the theme park Disney properties or Universal properties, is you're going to go until about 2 o'clock, and then you're going to go take a break in the middle of the day. Go back to your hotel, take a nap, hop in the pool, relax, and then come back a little later when it's cooler. Or if you really do want to stay in the park, or you want to catch that 3 o'clock parade at Magic Kingdom, not a problem. Just really strategically plan. The late afternoon is the perfect time to stop, to go to a sit-down restaurant. Make reservations ahead of time for something at 2 o'clock or at 3 o'clock. Go sit down. It will work wonders if you were just completely beaten tired, just to be able to sit down, sit in the cool AC, get some food, and just rejuvenate for a couple of hours. And then you're going to be ready to go or ready to hit that park, and you've already eaten, your late lunch for the day. So you're going to feel so much better. Something else, try to save those indoor attractions for the heat of the day as well. And I'm talking between 2 o'clock until 5 o'clock. That's really when it's going to be the hottest. You're really going to feel that sun beating down on you in the afternoons, as long as it's not raining. But you really want to save those indoor attractions. There's all kinds of indoor attractions at each of the parks. Like at Magic Kingdom, you're going to have Mickey's Philharmonic, or you're going to have Carousel of Progress, the Hall of Presidents. Some of those things are great. Pirates of the Caribbean, I always feel like that's a nice cool ride. Those are all great options for indoor attractions where the queue is inside as well. Not all of the queues at these parks are indoors. Even if the ride is indoors, sometimes the queue is even outdoors. So you're standing outside in this 90-degree temps with sun beating down on you, waiting in this line, and it's really going to zap you. I promise. I've seen it over and over and over. I see people at these parks and they're there in the middle of the day, not prepared, and they're just done, and it's hard to enjoy the rest of the evening. So just a little preparation ahead of time will really help go a long way. Do a little planning ahead of time. Scope those areas out and know where the cool areas are. Plan some sit-down restaurants, plan some indoor attractions, and then you're going to bookend your more outdoor attractions with the outdoor queues in the morning or in the evening. I promise you're going to see a world of difference in your stamina and just how well you feel throughout the day in that heat. Another thing, and another item that you're going to see a lot of people have, which is almost a staple, are these fans. These portable fans, you're going to see them everywhere. I like this particular one because it is a water mister as well. It has 3 levels, and boy, it is so strong. It really does put out the air. I really like this one in particular because it charges with USB, but you also are going to see other neck fans that people wear if you just don't want to carry one around. That one's really convenient. Recently, I've seen some that you can put on your belt buckle and on your pants, and then it kind of blows, inside your shirt, which I think can be really effective as well. I'll put a link to all 3 of these, but again, these are so cost effective, and they're so much cheaper if you buy them ahead of time versus once you get to the parks. So when you're thinking about what you're going to wear to the park, even strategically thinking about wearing these moisture wicking clothes is really going to help, guys. If you have something that's a dry fit, just try to avoid heavy cotton that is just going to suck the heat in. Try to wear something that is dry fit, that's nice and cool, and that is loose, and it's going to be a moisture wicking type. I always, even if I'm going to have a backpack, I always like to bring, even if I'm wearing shoes with socks, like an extra pair of socks, or if you can throw maybe an extra shirt in there or an extra change of clothes, that's always going to help as well. But something nice and cool and breathable and moisture wicking, that is going to make a world of difference as well. Some of the things that I always like to have in my backpack, or that I recommend having in the backpack on a really hot day and in the heat of summer, is sunscreen. Number 1, do not forget the sunscreen. You will be amazed at how fast you will burn. And I'm talking even the scalp of your head can burn in this heat if you are not wearing proper sunscreen, as well as lip balm. Lip balm with sunscreen in it is really going to help as well. Deodorant, please, for the sake of everyone else, just pump a little tube of deodorant. It's really going to help, and you're going to be thankful throughout the day. Again, I always like to maybe bring a change of socks, a poncho, or an umbrella. That's going to be mandatory as well, because if you're here in the late summer or going into September, October, you're going to have rain more than likely, and a lot of times that's going to come at the in the afternoon. And a lot of people think, oh, the rain is great, it's going to cool things off. No, it really doesn't, because after the rain, then you just have all of the steam that comes up after the rain. So you have the heat compared with the steam, and it just makes things even hotter. So just make sure that you're prepared if that rain comes, that you have a poncho or you have an umbrella in there as well. Your electric light powders, that's something else you want to stick in that backpack. It's easy to carry. Any refillable water bottles, snacks, that's always a good one. You can take snacks into the park, so don't forget your snacks. And then a lot of people like to bring a hat, so that's always great if you do want to cover your head and protect some against the sun. And of course, sunglasses. Mandatory in Florida. every day we wear our sunglasses, but especially when it's in the heat of summer and you're walking around all day, don't forget those sunglasses. So guys, I hope that this has helped and given some tips for traveling here to Orlando in the heat of summer. The main thing is just be prepared. You're going to have a blast. You're going to have a good time, but just make sure that you're doing your research ahead of time. Make sure that you have the items there with you already and that you're prepared to have a blast for your day in the park. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe. We really appreciate it and hope you have an awesome day.